welcome to our last lesson on using graphs and collecting data and measuring data. So remember that data is collected information or facts, okay? And we've talked about tally marks, okay? So remember that we have our list, okay? That's how we collect data. We have a list and we have our tally marks. And that, remember that these ones are 5 and everything else is 1, okay? So when it's a straight line, it's 1. And when it's more, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So that's tally marks. We also talked about line plots. And remember, that's when we use an X over a number line to show how many of something there is. So it's a graph, but it's kind of like a list, or it helps kind of visualize it. So again, how many people had 2 siblings? So we look at the number of siblings, which is on this line here, and we see that it is 5 people, okay? So we've talked about line plots, we've talked about tally marks, we've talked about lists a little bit, and we talked about bar graphs on Tuesday. And remember, a bar graph uses different lengths or heights to show data. So this is our bar graph. Remember that bar graphs need to have a title. They have bars, obviously, but that's normally the last thing we put in. They have the labels at the bottom here, and we have our scale. And remember, the scale is normally the most important part, but also the hardest part, okay? So when we read our bar graphs, remember that we just have our line. We first need to look at the scale to see what the scale is. And then we just read across the lines to see where we are at. So we have 11 Milky Ways, 6 Snickers, 4 Twix, and 13 Reese's, okay? And we can also have, so we have vertical bar graphs, which are my favorite. And then we have horizontal bar graphs, which is maybe your favorite. And again, we're reading it the same way. So we're just following along the lines and looking to see what the scale is. So we have 8 hours practicing for Rachel, 14 hours for Ian, 5 for Zach, and 9 for Stella, okay? And remember that you can do a vertical or a horizontal bar graph. They are the exact same. Remember, vertical goes up and down and horizontal goes side to side, but the information is literally the same on both. Remember, they both have their title, they both have their labels, and they both have a scale, and then they both have the choices, okay? So today you are going to use what you've learned about collecting data and making graphs, and you're gonna solve some problems, okay? So in your home learning journal, or just on a piece of paper, you can put using graphs to solve problems as your title, okay? So you can't see that. Let me write it out for you. No, you can't see that either. I'm failing. Using graphs to, please write this nicer than me, solve problems, okay? And I'd like you to put the date, so it's June 18th today, and all you're gonna do is answer the questions coming up. So just pause the video if you need to write that down, and then let's go. So question 1, you're gonna have a look at this bar graph, and you're just gonna answer question A and question B. So you're using the bar graph information to answer those 2 questions, okay? So you can pause the video and answer question 1, A and B. Number 2, you are going to read our line plot graph, and you are going to answer question A and question B. So again, just pause the video and you can answer those. And number 3, you are going to create your own bar graph, okay? And all that shows, remember the frequency table is this thing right here. So you are just going to show that information in a bar graph. Remember that your bar graph has 6 things that you need in it, okay? You need a title, you need labels, you need a scale, you need your bars, you need to have your choices. So remember that you need to have all of those things in your bar graph. Does it matter if you do a vertical or horizontal? No. You can do whatever one you prefer. Choose your favorite. Or you can choose my favorite. It's up to you. And question 4, okay, you are again looking at your line plot here, and you are answering A, B, and C this time. There's a C choice, okay? And that's it. That is your work for today. I just wanted to see how well you have taken in all of the information that we did about collecting data and measuring and reading and all of that stuff. So that's it. Those are your 4 questions. So make sure that you have written down your answers and just send those to me on Class Dojo. I just need the answers. Make sure you write them on a piece of paper, and that is it. So question 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and I can't wait to see how well you have used your graphs to solve the problems.